Team of the Year is normally my favorite time of Ultimate Team, but this year I felt like it was lacking. It wasn't lacking because of the players which were selected for the main starting 11. It wasn't lacking because of the honorable mentions, and it wasn't lacking because of the Team of the Year icons. All of that was cool, but unfortunately it seemed like this year it was impossible for you to get someone good, whether that be any of the players that we just mentioned. Now, to kick this video off, normally I do the same thing every single FIFA. Around about the end of November, beginning of December, that is when every single pack that I managed to get from Ultimate Team, whether that be through different types of game modes, or maybe it being gifts, completing different SBCs, whatever it is, I don't open, I save. I wait until Team of the Year is released, and that is when I open them. My goals normally is to get around 200, maybe 300 packs, which I know is not the most, but despite being a FIFA content creator, it's also not my only channel, so I have to spend my time elsewhere, which means I have a limited amount of time to play FIFA as it is. That's why I try to look for the most efficient way to go through the game. But despite that, I was still able to open around about 1,000 packs from the 2-week period since Team of the Year started, with the first lot of attackers being added to then the final week where honorable mentions and a full team was available. That was 300 packs from the very beginning that I managed to go and save. And then on top of that, because I had loads of players in my club, I just didn't have the time to put them through different types of SBCs. I was able to get another 150, 200 packs from them. And then once all of those packs were opened, I was then able to redistribute all the players that I managed to get from those packs back into SBCs to open yet again more packs. I didn't count every single one of them, but it was easily 1,000 plus, and from that I was able to get 0 Team of the Years, 0 Icon Team of the Years, and 0 honorable mentions. I did get enough players again to reuse them into 2 separate icon upgrades, which gave me Campbell as well as Cannavaro. I also had additional players left over, which allowed me to buy into flashback Paul Pogba. But overall, this was the worst Team of the Year that I've ever been through. And I'm not expecting to get Mbappe in every single pack. That would be ridiculous. But to open 1,000 packs and not get anything reasonable to the relevant promos which were available, that's kind of crazy. And in all honesty, it is down to luck. I don't know the actual chances of you getting a Team of the Year player, but I imagine it is less than 1%, but let's just say it is exactly 1%. Just because you open 100 packs doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to go and get a pack which does include a Team of the Year player, because it's down to chance for each pack as an individual. And more or less with this year, I just walked away thinking it's just not my year. But that was until I started watching other content creators, other creators whose priority is to open packs. They're able to make a living off it, and therefore they're able to throw a lot of money to the game. And I realized that they also were getting somewhat screwed over. Throughout the whole of Team of the Year, Danny Aarons was able to build this monstrosity. And yes, it is an absolutely insane team. But for him to get this, he spent 1 million FIFA points, and even confirms at the end that it was around £6,000. Now, at the time of when this video went live, that team was valued at 7.1 million coins, which is certainly a lot, but it just isn't worth that conversion from money to coins. Now, of course, Danny Aarons does this for his career. This is a business at the end of the day, and he's able to make a profit out of it. But in terms of from money to coins, that's a ridiculous conversion. That ends up being about £1 for every 1.18 coins, which is also a very similar conversion to what it is to convert pounds into dollars, which also means for those of you out in America that you're spending $1 for 1 coin. Now, we should highlight that this isn't an exact conversion because, well, there's other players in which Danny was able to pack which are not shown within his starting 11. They will be within his club, which certainly adds a lot more. But with this being the best of the best, that is where you're going to see probably about 90% of his club's value, maybe even more than that. And this is absolutely insane to me. It's also why so many coin selling sites do so well. When you're talking about spending 6 grand in order for you to go and get about 7 million coins, you could just go into a coin site, and for the sake of this video, it is unsponsored, so I'm not trying to say that you should pick one over the other, but typically they're all a lot cheaper. There's a fraction of the price in order for you to get the exact exact same amount of coins where you could buy this team but for a lot cheaper. And I know every single year people say it is tough to get a team of the year, and yes, every single year it is. You have those comments. It just felt slightly tougher this year. Maybe it is because console players are all sharing just that one single market, or maybe it's just a way in which they can push some of their bigger, more profitable packs which they have now added to the store. Some of these packs are getting to ridiculous prices themselves. But even in terms of Team of the Year, looking away from the pack weight itself, looking at content that's being distributed, yeah, you have your standard players. There's nothing different there. No complaints with the team which has been pushed. As well as I think Team of the Year icons are pretty cool. Would like to see them again, and it's a solid card design. But with there being content in terms of SBCs, there really hasn't been anything too good in terms of repeatables. You've had your 75 plus, your 80 plus, and your 81 plus, with there also occasionally being some 83 plus in terms of defenders, attackers, and midfielders. But overall, there hasn't been too many great challenges to go through in order for you to really try your best to get something good. None of those big packs where you're able to go and get 85 plus and that's constantly repeatable throughout the whole Team of the Year period. And with this video, I don't like sitting here and complaining. And I know so far that is all I've done, but that's why we're also here to look at solutions. Unfortunately, I can't go back in time and tell you to go and do certain things in order for you to get a Team of the Year player. That is now over. But what I can do is tell you that this is how Ultimate Team is. The pack weight in FUT in general is absolutely absurd, and there's no reason for EA to change this. They have a money maker machine, which seems to make more and more every single year. And as much as people protest to go and get FIFA points to be cheaper, it makes no difference, because even if they were to go and make it cheaper, they'll probably also reduce the pack weights of you being able to get something good. So it ends up balancing out, and EA still make a ton of money. I also don't believe in the whole boycott a certain game just because it doesn't work the way that you want it to. There are people that constantly play this game because, well, it is a game that they enjoy. So how do you get a Team of the Year? Firstly, you could buy into coins. Yes, it can be somewhat risky depending on your supplier, and yes, it is against the terms and conditions, so if EA does find you, they will ban you. Most of these coin selling sites will offer services promising you that they will not alert the EA systems and red flag your account, which is ultimately when they're going to ban you. And it does seem like quite a lot of them do know how to get around it. This will save you a lot of money compared to what people are currently paying in order to get FIFA points in the hopes that they can get something good. Bear in mind that it's still down to chance. You may open 1 million FIFA points and you may get something more than what Danny Aaron's was able to get, or worst case scenario, you could probably get even less. But believe it or not, despite talking about buying coins, it's still not my recommended way. My recommended way is to trade. If you're able to sell an item more than what you bought it for, if you keep on doing that, eventually you will have a lot of coins. How many coins you have will depend on how many times you do this, as well as how much profit you're able to make for each and every item. Now, I'm not saying that you will be able to trade to go and get a 10, 20, 30 million coin team with every single Team of the Year and every single icon. That is exclusive for those that know the ins and outs of the market and dedicate a hell of a lot of time to the game. Most people will not achieve that, but what you certainly can achieve, and I believe everyone can do this, is get a couple million. A couple million where you can buy into these players and use them to try out within your main team. If you don't like them, that's fine. You could sell them. Remember, you've bought into them, so therefore they're tradable. You can sell them, and depending when you sell them and the price that you bought into them, you may be able to break even. You might make a slight loss. You may even make a slight profit. It all depends on the market. You can turn over those coins quite easily in order for you to try out a different type of player, and hopefully next time you will enjoy using them. But this is the only guaranteed way and somewhat free way in which you can get these types of players. But it's not going to happen overnight, and you are going to still need to dedicate some time as well as learn some of the basic trading methods. The real nice thing about being able to trade is that it is a skill that you will be able to use every single year, and normally towards the end of every Ultimate Team, because of the sheer amount of coins as well as players available in the market, and then the sudden downtrend in demand because, well, it is coming towards the end of FUT, that a lot of these players, a lot of the Team of the Year players, they will plummet in value, losing about 60, 70, 80% of their current value. some even dropping more than that. Courtois sitting at 300k will probably go down to 30k. And with all of that, if I learned anything about this team of the year, is that it is getting worse and worse and worse. And for that, I am not going to put any money into FIFA. I'll buy the game at the beginning of the year. That's what I'm going to do because I still enjoy playing through it. But buying into FIFA points for most players is a complete ripoff. There are better ways in which you can push ahead if you are going to use money, and my recommendation is that you don't use money and you just try to learn some of the basic moves in order to trade, play games, get a bit better, and then build up. Because by the time we get to September, October, it's all completely wiped and you start again. There are already trading guides here on this channel which will show you how to go from 0 to 500k, as well as we have more in the works which will show you how to go from 0 to 1 million coins, and it goes through some of the easiest methods that you can use. It's all dedicated to beginners within FUT. If you do have any questions about anything, then please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. But anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going. So see ya.